Hey everyone, it's PotatoPikachu, and November is already here. October just passed, it flew by, and now we're already in the month of November. And although October was really slow in terms of investing and just for the game in general, I still think it will still be relatively the same for the majority of November. Maybe there could be an update or something like that towards the end of November, but at the moment, with the current landscape of CSGO, I think it would still be pretty slow and there's not going to be much movement in terms of prices. But before we get into the video, if you do enjoy it, please feel free to like and subscribe. It's free and you can always change it if you want to. Links to my Twitter and Discord channel will be in the description down below if you want to see other of my social media channels. But that's enough of that, and thanks for tuning in. My first tip to you guys right now is to just hold on to your items. Holding right now is probably the best thing you can do right now, because while you may think that the prices will keep on falling and maybe the game is dying or something like that, it's not. It's certainly not. A lot of people are still playing the game even with no new content being released. How strange is that, right? Like in the current games and all that, content is what keeps people driven to play the game. But with CSGO, people are still playing the game regardless of whether new content is being released, which is pretty awesome if you think about it, because that shows how active the player base is and how dedicated they are to play the game regardless of whether anything new or interesting happens. You would think that the CSGO developers would push more updates and more new content, as a lot of games have been doing that in the past few years, but I guess they don't want to or something like that. Hopefully we get something towards the end of the year, but right now we don't even have a lot of major updates, which is pretty insane considering other games just constantly push out new content all the time. But as saying this is pretty much a hold month for CSGO items. If you have invested already, just hold on to them right now. No need to panic or anything like that. This is natural. Games do have its ups and downs. It can't always be on the rise. That's just not how it works. So just hold on to your investments, as sooner or later we will have an update and that will drive more players back into the game, and prices will further increase as more people are going to be interested in skins. Also, while you're holding on to your current investments, what you can do right now is to look at other items that have fallen in price and to maybe invest in them. That's my second tip for you guys, as there can be some potential good items that have dropped a bit in price due to people leaving the game or just selling them off. So you can find potentially good deals if you research more on some certain skins, like older collections that have been discontinued, as that's always a good place to start. You might be wondering, why do all the CSGO YouTubers who talk about investing always tell you to invest in the older discontinued collections? Well, it's because of the fact that they're discontinued. They're no longer dropping in-game, and that causes the supply to be stuck at what it's currently at on the Steam market and on third-party websites. So you can no longer obtain them in-game, but only through trade-up contracts, and that will also dry up as more and more people will use those trade-up inputs, and the supply of those trade-up inputs will further decrease. Discontinued collections have the reputation of being rare, right? They're more rare, you don't see them often in-game, and hence people will want them more because they're more exclusive, and you don't want to have the same skin that everyone else has in-game, right? So that's like some angle, some viewpoint that some people have, and that makes them want to buy those skins as opposed to ones that are high in supply. I mentioned in my previous investment video for October that the Desert Eagle Blaze, the Glock Fade, and some other older collections like the AK Hydroponic or from the Rising Sun collection, these are pretty good investments at the moment because of the fact that the prices on third-party websites like Buff, they have gone down. So it's a great time to take the opportunity to just go for it. So if you are looking for some investments to go for right now, I would really suggest going for discontinued and old collections. Those two factors are really important, as the supply will be really low for those older skins, and the fact that they're discontinued just adds that I guess, heightened sense of quality to it. It makes it feel more exclusive, and a lot of them are getting a lot of hype right now, especially the good looking ones, as the ones I mentioned, like the Desert Eagle Blaze and the Glock Fade. But what are some other investments you can go for other than discontinued old collection skins? Well, you can invest in stickers. Stickers are always a good option, especially tournament stickers, as they look really good on crafts and people love them. I would really suggest going for Katowice 2015s, Atlanta 2017s, and even Katowice 2019s. If you were to go on third-party websites like Buff, for example, you would notice that the price of these stickers have gone down a lot, by a lot. Like, I have invested in the Katowice 2015s and the Boston 2017, so I have checked on the prices and they have dropped on these third-party websites. I would generally ignore the Steam market for these higher priced items, as it's not really worth placing them on the Steam market in the first place given their high fees. So looking at third-party websites is generally the more safer option to go, and that's what people generally use. So going back to these 3 tournaments I mentioned, if you look at all the stickers for the team logos on each of these tournaments, then you would notice that they all look really good. The holos for the Katowice 2015s are really bright. The holos and foils for the Atlanta 2017 and Katowice 2019 stickers, they're really large. They really stand out on sticker crafts given the fact that the size of it is pretty good. It's really good on certain skins as well, so it's perfect. Now, these 3 tournament stickers I mentioned are just a few examples, as there's still so many other tournaments within CSGO, so you can choose from there as well within your certain budget range. And although the prices of these stickers are dropping steadily, that's just because there really isn't much going on in the game right now, and once stuff does pick up and more interesting content does appear in the game, that's when we'll see price increases as people will start to become more interested in skins again. Investing is, after all, a waiting game and a game of patience. You just have to be patient and eventually you will be rewarded for your waiting. If you want to go a more safer route in terms of stickers and tournaments, then you should look towards tournament capsules, as they will have a variety of team logos within that capsule, so you don't have to gamble on one certain team. But keep in mind as well that when you're investing in these team capsules, since there's a variety of teams instead of one certain one, the growth of the capsule itself will be much slower than when you're investing in just one team sticker. There are also gold autograph stickers. You can also invest in these as they look really good on crafts as well with like other stuff. There are really popular players like Kenny S, there's Simple, Zaiwu. These gold stickers are really popular but also really expensive, and it shows that there is also a market for the gold stickers, that people actually want them. But we don't know what type of gold stickers will be used in the future majors. We don't know if it will be like the old ones from Katowice 2019 and beforehand, or from Berlin 2019, where it is significantly more different. If you can get your hands on some decently priced gold stickers, gold player stickers, and they're from a pretty well-known person or like someone who's pretty like a really good player or something like that, then I suggest holding on to it. But moving on to cases, you might have noticed on the Steam market that the prices of them have pretty much stagnated, and some have even dropped down in price, like the Operation Breakout case. Well, that is probably due to the fact that some of them were really overhyped and there was just too many people going in on the case itself, and people have become impatient and decided to just sell it off at a lower price than it should be. Now granted, the Operation Breakout case is still going up in price and is gradually still going up as we speak right now. There are still other cases you can invest in, like the Gamma and the Gamma 2 case. These 2 cases have the same set of knives with the Gamma finishes, and they're both really good investments in my opinion, as these knives, there's a higher chance of getting a good knife as opposed to a case like the Spectrum 2 case, where there is a butterfly knife in the midst of other garbage knives. Now, for Spectrum 2, that case is still good even though there's a lot of stock, because it has the AK Empress along with the butterfly knife, so those two factors I think will still carry that case in the long term. So you can invest in that right now if you want to. It's really low and there's just a lot of stock right now, so the price will stay low for a while. But back to the Gamma and Gamma 2 case, there are a lot of popular knives within that case itself, and there are a lot of good finishes as well, so you have a high chance of making some good money or making a return at least on your unboxings if you choose one of those two cases. The price for these cases are already rising as we speak. The Gamma 1 case is going for 13 cents and the Gamma 2 case is going for 17 cents. Now, maybe the Gamma 2 case has been a bit hyped recently thanks to TDM Jesus. He's really well known, so a lot of people were interested in that video of his talking about how the market will soon blow up, and I kind of feel the same way, so that's why I'm talking about some items that have recently dropped in price a bit on third-party websites, as I don't think you'll ever see those prices that low again on those certain items. But in terms of the case itself for the Gamma and Gamma 2 case, that's why I have been talking about it in all my other investment videos, as the contents within it are really good. So you can still invest in it right now. I think it's still a pretty good time to invest in it if you haven't done so already. So just research a bit more for yourself and see if you think the contents within the Gamma and Gamma 2 case are something you think will rise in price. Also, a lot of people have been talking about how the market will potentially go up and boom. I even said that myself in the other investment video. So why is that? Why do these people think that the market will just suddenly rise and all these prices will go up drastically? Well, I think it's because when Valve release a major update, I hope they release a major update, but when they do so, that's going to bring a lot of attention to the game, as did the Shadow Web operation did. When that operation was released, the market was sky high. So many of the items skyrocketed in price and it was pretty crazy to see, and this probably showed Valve what the people wanted in CSGO. They wanted more content. They wanted something interesting in the game, so hopefully they understand what they should update to the game and add so they can have similar hype levels as what happened during the Shadow Web operation. It's just so dull now and we desperately need new content for the game, as I've been repeating myself now. I've said this in my other investment videos as well, so it's probably no surprise to any of you guys what I just said in these last 10 minutes or so. I want new content to make. You want new content to play. So hopefully towards the end of November, maybe we'll see an update like we did last year. But that is all for this investment guide for the month of November, and let's see down the road where the content takes us, and let's see if Valve adds new things. They should have an update, right? Surely they should have an update for 2020, because if they don't, then that would just be incredibly depressing. If you have any other investing things to talk about or any items you think are good investments, then feel free to leave it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, and thanks for tuning in. I'm PotatoPikachu signing out. Peace.